quick too. Try to make your answers good and long because the more you talk, the less we have to write, like of the research paper. So the more we can fill it up with your answers, the less work we have to do. So it'd be cool if your answers were
Makes
long.
sense.
All right. So, actually, can you say your class standing as well?
What does that mean? Like
Senior standing.
Year.
Yep.
I'm a senior.
And where you're from?
I'm a senior from Upper Arlington, Ohio.
Like our year in school or actual standing?
Actual standing.
Okay, I'm Caroline. Oh, wait. A senior standing, and I'm from Buffalo, New York. Like, you're
Just
Canada?
say what year.
Okay, I'm a junior. I just asked, and he said actual.
I'm gonna change that.
I am senior from Palo Alto.
Senior from Mount Gilead, Ohio.
Senior from Cincinnati.
Senior from China.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay, how many do we have?
What's my standing and senior standing?
Is it 8 to 10 or 6 to 8? People we needed in the focus group.
8
We're
to
just
10.
gonna call 2 people after. It's 8 to 10. We're
Alright.
fine.
That's right. Okay. So, start out with general question. All right. So, when you think of sports gear, who's the first company that comes to mind?
Nike.
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 What do you guys think that is?
They're the most popular sports brand.
Yeah, same.
Oxdale.
Do you think it has anything to do with like sponsorship or anything?
Well, from a proximity
Yeah.
standpoint, Ohio State, our own university we're at each day, is sponsored by Nike, so that probably has a large effect. Also, I mean, I'm a big basketball fan, and given that the large majority of top athletes, and this has changed a bit recently, but the large majority of top athletes wear Nike shoes, so, think of Jordan, think of LeBron, think of Nike.
Fair. That's a great answer. So, what would you say is the most you pay for a pair of one of those athletic shoes?
Not much.
Can I get a ballpark?
100.
150.
100.
I would not buy them.
Any?
Okay.
What if they were like $10?
I don't wear closed-toe shoes.
Okay.
Ever?
Well, because
But those are Nike sandals.
They're like $20, and they were a gift.
back in high school as an athlete, I would have paid probably $130 for a good pair of basketball shoes. Now, as a college guy, probably more around $80 to $90.
Like, for me it's like 400 or 500. Because for the, like ease, shoes like ease. I mean, for the fashion, I'm willing to pay more. For the just the
Big
wear,
baller. I like that. That's awesome. What would you say is what would you say is the most common piece of athletic apparel that you purchased?
Gym shorts.
Shorts?
I do like the sneakers.
Like running shoes, yeah. I guess I'd make an amendment to my last answer. I would pay more for running shoes than I would basketball shoes.
What about you guys? Most common?
I would say shoes or shirt maybe.
Shoes probably. Yeah.
For me it's leggings or like yoga
Oh,
pants.
the leggings.
Leggings.
I wear those
Oh,
every
yeah,
day.
okay.
Yeah.
Yoga pants and
It's
leggings.
comfortable.
Man. So, did you play sports? Do you currently play sports? If so, what sport?
Did play lacrosse and basketball. Currently do not play sports.
I rode in high school.
You rode?
Yeah. And I
Oh.
was on. Yeah, rowing.
Yeah.
Our baseball team is sponsored by Mizuno.
Oh, Mizuno. That's cool.
Used to play basketball. I don't play currently.
Do you know any do you guys have any specific item of sponsor that you would wear typically? Did UA? Are we Under Armour?
UA's lacrosse team is sponsored by Under Armour, I believe.
Nice. That's cool.
I ran track in high school. I don't think they were sponsored by anyone. Yeah.
Is there like a notable track kind of brand that people like to wear? Like is there a best kind of tech?
I don't think they're sponsored by anyone, but I think there was some like Nike stuff, maybe like the shorts or some stuff. From what I remember.
I'm taking one boxing class and one yoga class this semester because I don't do exercise
Yeah.
like before. So for this semester, I'm knowledge of like yoga pants brand called Lululemon.
Lululemon.
Before this semester, I know nothing. Only Nike. Only
Yeah.
so Lululemon or that's it. Pretty much.
So let's get into like brands, I guess. Rank Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour in terms of your favorite to least favorite.
Nike, Adidas, and Under Armour.
Yep.
Nike number 1, Under Armour number 2, and Adidas number 3.
The same.
Well, said there's no big baller brand, but Nike, Adidas, Under
I'm
Armour.
a big fan.
Adidas, Nike, Under Armour.
I'd say Nike, Adidas, Under Armour.
Adidas, Nike, Under Armour.
What has got you? Is that a recent change, or have you always been a big Adidas guy?
It's European.
European.
Yeah,
I mean, I think it depends upon the sport and like the sports background you come from. If it's basketball or something like that, you're probably gonna choose Nike. Or if it's soccer, something like that, you're probably gonna tend more towards Adidas. You know.
Let's see. So I guess. I'm just double checking. So are you familiar with the term streetwear?
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
No, that's good to know.
I don't know what that means. I don't know if you.
I don't know. Maybe.
Just like leisure wear, like
Two
your
down.
comfort, your comfort clothes that you're gonna buy that are sports branded, but you're not gonna be wearing them for sports activities.
Like, let's say, like, I know Adidas has recently like kind of thrown out a lot of line kind of in that regard. Like, you see a lot of people wearing kind
More
of
for the style.
athletic Adidas pants and stuff. So who do you know that is associated with Nike?
Like sponsored or
Jordan, LeBron.
Ohio State.
just go ahead and throw them at anybody.
Ohio
Kobe.
State. Good one.
Kobe.
Kyrie.
Tiger Woods was Nike for a while.
He's
Yeah. He's playing today.
Yeah,
What
he
is
is.
that?
Thing.
Yeah, whatever. Get together.
How about Adidas? Do you know anybody associated with Adidas?
Yeezy.
Great.
Okay. Good.
I'm sure there's some soccer player, but I can't name
Yeah,
mine.
I'm struggling.
What about Under Armour?
Speed.
That-
Stephen
Curry, yeah, Curry.
Speed is a good one.
Anybody else?
Under Armour has some big ones.
Yeah, they have some huge ones.
There's
The GOAT.
is Brady Under Armour?
Any weightlifters? Any big weightlifters who also are actors? Short Rock.
The Rock is sponsored by Under Armour.
Oh yeah.
Oh really?
He's got a signature shoe.
Huh.
And ASAP.
Is Bryce Harper Under Armour?
Yes.
Yeah, he is actually.
So is ASAP. Rocky.
That's cool.
All right. So. So what I guess kind of separates Under Armour? What makes you think of this brand kind of over the others? What do you like kind of market segment do they kind of dominate?
Like warm clothes.
Warm clothes.
Yeah,
Very
like,
good.
like Under Armour for like skiing and
Yeah.
just wear Under Armour.
Oh, hello.
Welcome.
What market segment does Under Armour operate?
Or just kind of what it makes you think of Under Armour in general.
So if you were gonna wear Under Armour, like, do you have no specific occasion you might buy Under Armour for a specific sport or anything you can associate with?
Not really. Only thing I associate with it is Steph Curry things.
Okay.
A
Yeah.
lot of hunting stuff.
Yeah,
Cause I'm like, rural.
I always think overpriced when I Under Armour.
Okay, fair.
I think of like cold weather sports where you know you want to be wearing the Under Armour stuff to stay
Yeah.
warm.
I
But
like
when in
this-
terms of shoes, I always kind of prefer Nike.
I feel like I always just think of like what are like those cold weather turtleneck things you wear under
spandexy
the
thing,
spandexy
yeah.
like
Mm-hmm.
things with the little Under Armour thing right here.
Yeah, definitely. So do you believe, I guess branching off that a little bit, do they make quality products?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hunting line is that like top of the kind of
Yeah,
what
for
you-
me, yeah, because I come from a country town.
Yeah.
And everybody loves Under Armour.
Okay, cool. So unanimous yes there. That okay.
So do you own any of Under Armour brand clothing or sports gear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one no,
I've never heard that.
two no's, and 4 yeses.
I have some Under Armour like thermal.
Yeah.
That's all I
Yeah,
have.
that's
too,
definitely
just some
what they're
thermal
huge
gear.
for.
Vikings.
That's what it is.
I think I might have some gym shorts too.
Running shoes too.
What do you think of the Under Armour logo?
Awkward.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks dumb.
Is it an X? What is it?
It's like a
Yeah,
U
yeah,
and then
yeah.
an A, but it does.
Did somebody say it looks dumb?
Yeah.
There's like 3 dumps.
Not
Okay.
nearly as good as this
Dumb
Nike
does
No,
swoosh.
the swoosh is nice.
I've heard many of friends told me Under Armour equals to Chanel, so it drives me crazy. You know, Under Armour is like a term. Yeah, it's
a
like
vertical
Chanel. Yeah,
Chanel.
so
Oh.
it's driving me
Yeah.
crazy.
I think it looks good. At least it's symmetrical and makes you feel better. Like some logos are asymmetrical. I don't think this looks good on clothing. But if you see the logos on clothes that is symmetrical, I think it makes me feel better.
I will say I do somewhat agree that Under Armour, the logo looks better on clothing than it does on shoes. I just don't think it looks very sharp or aerodynamic on a shoe as compared to the Nike symbol.
Yeah.
Or like on a clothing, just on one little spot, it looks better. But on a shoe, it doesn't look that great.
I think that's mainly just because how little people like wear Under Armour shoes.
Mhm.
Like it's just like what's common. Like
I feel like it looks fine on shoes.
Is there any like shoe in particular that you can think of Under Armour?
no, I mean I'm just thinking of like a classic sneaker with the UA brand on it.
Yeah.
I just feel like not many people wear that, and so it's just like people think it's ugly because not many people wear it.
Did you ever see the Steph Curry shoe that came out last year?
Like the high tops or something.
It was
The dad shoes.
the all white like
Maybe. I
what
think I
they
saw
call it
something
the
about that on
With
Twitter
the
or
Velcro?
something.
they call it like
Yeah.
the like nursing home 3000.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't good.
Let's see. So I guess kind of following up what we said a little bit, is there anything that you like particularly or dislike about Under Armour, what, as a company as a whole, or their clothing, more specifically?
I don't
If
really,
you don't feel passionately about it,
I don't really
doesn't matter.
dislike it. I just think Nike's cooler.
And I think when you look at their website, like the way of they display their products doesn't make me have the incentive to buy them.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Nike's cooler based off of kind of the athletes that do it, better clothes overall?
I think it's because of the athletes who do it. It's just because it's like everyone wears it, so it's just like that's why it's cool. It's
Mhm.
like I don't know, the symbol is cool. I don't know, it's just like
They-
accepted and it's like a cool brand.
They seem to just always be a bit like one step ahead too in shoe design
Yeah.
over Under Armour.
Yeah.
I think just aesthetically, Under Armour, I mean, maybe less so now, but it's always been kind of catching up to Nike, and Nike
Mhm.
just seems to be ahead in that way.
Do you think it's gaining ground on Nike recently, or do you
Well,
think
yes, certainly. I mean, with like additions of big time athletes, 10 years ago, I don't even know when Under Armour's founded, but 10 years ago, Under Armour had no one, and now they have some big names, but still, there's still quite a gulf between them.
kind of in the market as a whole, do you see like Adidas gaining ground? Do you see, I guess, relative to each other, or do you see kind of any movement along the market segment?
What he said, I think seems kind of true. With like the addition of Steph Curry or whatever, that's all I can think of. Makes me think Under Armour's gaining ground.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Cam Newton Under Armour?
Exactly.
Is he Nike?
Yeah, he's a Nike.
I think actually,
Auburn is Under Armour, but I think Cam Newton is Nike.
Cam Newton's got to be Nike. There's no way Under Armour's secured him.
I don't know. Yeah, Cam Newton is Under Armour.
What?
See, I just feel like Under Armour, as from a strategy standpoint, should really push hard into football. And I know they need to push hard into basketball, but
Mhm.
in my mind, it's just so
Nike dominates.
Nike dominates.
Well, doesn't Nike have
basketball.
a contract with the NFL?
Now they do to like
Yeah.
make all the clothes.
So I don't think they can wear Under Armour on the field, can Is there the cover-
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is correct.
Well, you can wear you can wear whatever shoes you want, right?
Mhm.
they?
Branded
They have
shoes.
strict guidelines on
I
their
just-
shoe.
yeah.
It's fine.
It's true.
So some of their like noteworthy athletes: Tom Brady, Vernon Davis, Julio Jones, Eddie Lacy, Brandon Marshall, Patrick Peterson, Tony Romo, Cam Newton, just in football. Baseball, they have Bryce Harper, Ryan Howard, Clayton Kershaw, John
Aaron
Peterson,
Judge.
Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger. Basketball, they've got Steph Curry. That's kind of the primarily one. Dennis Smith Jr., he's a young guy. Josh Jackson's a young guy. And then PGA, they have Spieth primarily. So
So not terrible.
is that do you think that's better than you would have thought? Is that worse kind of than what you would have thought? Or
That's a little better than I thought, and I think people don't realize that like athletes like Cam Newton or whatever wears it, or whoever some of the other famous people wear, because like I don't know, you always just see like LeBron or whatever sporting Nike. I just feel like it gets more coverage, like that gets more coverage.
I think basketball shoes in general is the more important market because you notice less what shoes football players are wearing as compared to basketball players.
Basketball is more personal sport. Like, you don't see the face of any football players. You wouldn't be able to recognize who we recognize.
Do you think it's a good idea for them to kind of go after these like very kind of high-profile players rather than because Nike kind of cast a big net, and Under Armour they got Michael Phelps, Andy Murray, in other sports, but then they don't really have they don't have anybody else kind of in that respective sports.
Yeah, I think definitely they should go after high-profile athletes.
Alright, so if you don't currently own any Under Armour, would you consider purchasing in the future? Why or why not?
No,
Not
because
really.
I don't understand the taste of their designer, the color they have in their store, like pink, purple, so the green one, I don't understand their taste, so I think never, ever.
So it's not stylish, that's why,
You own something?
I own stuff. I'd say maybe if I really like something, but if I was gonna buy something new, it would probably be Nike.
Fair.
Alright, so are you aware that Under Armour is currently facing a decline in sales? And why do you think this is?
Like a significant.
Was there a CEO in the news for something?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Keep going.
Isn't he like a jackass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was.
We'll get to what he did.
Sure.
I really would not know why they would be coming in sales.
Well, my guess is with this whole like streetwear becoming such a big, prominent thing, I feel like they haven't captured that.
Yeah,
market
that's
at all.
definitely true. I don't think any
You see,
Under
you
Armour
see,
streetwear
you see
stuff.
people at Nike, you see people in Lululemon, stuff like that. You don't see that much Under Armour
You see
streetwear.
Adidas.
Yeah, you see
But
Adidas.
Girls
yeah.
all have those like.
The Shelto Superstars?
Shelto
I don't
Superstars.
know what they're called.
Yeah.
Those common shoe on.
Yeah. Sorority 12s.
Sorority clubs.
They're pretty big on that.
So what can Under Armour do better, do you think? Is it kind of get further into that streetwear market, break through?
New CEO.
They could probably win the golf game. I think Nike like pulled out of golf. I think it's like making clubs last year. They could probably dominate that sport.
They stopped making clothes this year?
I know my dad golf. I hate golfing. It's boring. So I'm pretty sure that Nike.
I know for a while they had the
They backed
Victory
up.
Reds, which were really
Yeah,
good.
they like taken
Well,
a lot of the market out of golf.
They ended their golf because they had like Nike golf. I don't think they have that anymore.
That might be like a.
I still think they may have the clothing apparel, but they don't make the clubs.
I don't think they have
or
their own
anymore.
subsection.
Yeah.
Nike golf.
Yeah, they
So,
I'd say maybe that, and try to get more high-profile athletes in more like big sports like basketball or mainly basketball, I guess.
I also think they just do a better job at like making jerseys. Like anytime like a college football team wears an alternate jersey that's not Nike, I think it looks like trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nike
My
just
name is
Adidas had a really bad run of that.
Nike just always seems to kind of have a better design team.
Yeah,
on
I
their-
agree with that.
on
Like when I
their
think
names.
Oregon Ducks, I think Nike in style.
Yeah, because they wear a New Jersey like every game.
Every
don't
day.
they?
Yeah, because Phil Knight won.
Yeah, because
So, I guess, what do you think some of the current problems they have are? And I know that's kind of branching off of that. Is it just primarily not kind of entering those
yeah, their
markets?
name isn't as popular. I feel like it's the biggest thing. And I know that's really general. And they don't like have as stylish of clothes too.
Alright, so Kevin Plank, the CEO of Under Armour, was on the American Manufacturing Council for Trump. After Trump's action after the white supremacist rally in Charlottesville, Plank stepped down. Did you hear about this? Did this affect how you feel about Under Armour? Do you have any?
Wasn't there originally some big thing that happened even before this, where Steph Curry had to issue some statement against the Under Armour
Yeah.
CEO?
Yeah, he came out.
So did The Rock.
And what was that? What was that about?
The Rock basically just said that he didn't agree with him voicing his. The CEO basically like backed Trump like really a lot, and then that thing happened, and there was one more tiny event that happened for it, and then he bashed Trump right after, so he was like flip flopping, and then he went back to supporting Trump, and then he backed off of him again, and The Rock was basically like, we need to step out of politics, and like there's no need to associate sporting brands and actors and sponsorships with politics. So basically, do you guys like agree with that there should, like, CEOs in general, and like especially with Armour, they should just stay out of politics?
I mean, from a purely sales capitalistic standpoint, if you want to sell the most, then yeah, you probably shouldn't talk about politics.
Because that's literally their stocks like roller coastered, and then now they're just straight.
Especially with social media nowadays, you see when someone makes a big political statement, there'll be like the big movements to not buy their stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm
exactly.
sure Under Armour's been hit with that because of that. So
Wait, so what happened? I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
So he was like supporting like white supremacist things.
No.
After that moment, he stepped down.
After that, he stepped down. After the Charlottesville riots, he stepped down off the council.
but originally there was some statement he said that Steph Curry disagreed with and had
Yeah.
to issue a statement against him, which is never good when your most high profile athlete is
He's
having to
talking,
issue a statement
and The
against
Rock
you.
literally made an Instagram post and said, "I do not stand with the CEO of Under Armour. I like Under Armour's clothing, and I like my sponsorship, but I don't agree with anything the CEO has said." So it was a direct call out to him.
Yeah.
But by two of their most
Probably stay out of politics if you're a CEO.
So let's see. So suppose that you were the CEO of Under Armour. What would you do to kind of revamp their brand image?
Yeah, how could you come back after that? After all the problems we named, like what would you guys do?
Do a genuine apology and I guess change. Don't be an asshole. I guess make a genuine apology and do something to show that you care about people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, make it known. I guess I was still not kind of confused. So he basically did something that was like racist, and he.
No, he didn't do anything racist. Trump said those things after Charlottesville and like didn't. I don't even know what all happened.
Didn't
with that,
necessarily denounce the Charlottesville
Yeah.
like riots and stuff, and then after that he stepped down off of Trump's council.
Okay. The CEO did.
Mm-hmm.
Which was denounces just backing of Trump, and then went right back to backing him, and then stopped backing him again.
Okay. I don't know. I guess just apologize and be genuine and make it like known that you apologize, like public, and don't do it again, and yeah, that would help like rebuild that.
Mm-hmm.
If they just have a giant sales drop, and then let's just make like cooler clothes too. You know, people to buy it.
So recently they signed A$AP Rocky, somewhat maybe of kind of a follow-up for Adidas signing Yeezy not too long ago. Do you think that they should kind of continue to pursue these kind of celebrity routes as well? They have Dwayne The Rock Johnson, now they have A$AP, or do you think they should really focus on kind of their usual market of kind of
I would say
athletes?
athletes. I didn't even know A$AP was sponsored by them, or The Rock was sponsored by them. I don't think really anybody else does either.
A$AP is recent though.
The Rock had the
It's
number
like
one
September.
best-selling athletic shoe in Under Armour's history by like
He had a shoe?
190%. He just released it like 2 weeks ago.
Well, I didn't even know like The Rock like was sponsored by him, or like a lot of those big name athletes like Cam Newton or whatever. So I don't think that's really helpful that they're doing that.
So
Yeah, it's probably
I would say A$AP and cool hip people like that would be a very smart strategy. I mean, we just identified one of the core weaknesses as not being viewed as cool in the streetwear category. How do you become cool in the streetwear category? You get people who are, pretty universally considered cool to be sponsored by you. So
I feel like there's other ways to like become cool though, because I don't necessarily think women view it as strongly towards athletes as men do. Like I feel like a lot more of it is based upon like
Those are the Rock shoes, by the way.
like I think a lot of times women base it more off of like not so much, I don't know, what like celebrities are wearing, but not like female athletes, more just like.
So they also sponsored Giselle Bundchen. Does that make sound, or does that help? Do you
I
think?
don't know.
Like Brady's wedding?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it cheap? Don't have those rumors.
Yeah.
What?
Is it cheap?
Are you saying like like models? Like she's a model. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
versus an
that's what I
athlete.
mean. Like for women, it's more about like what's cool and like what the models wear. Like it's not so much what like famous female athletes are wearing. So I feel like there are other ways to target the street wear, like the just general population, than just through like football and basketball.
they're probably not gonna win the athletes game. Probably too far behind, so I think that's probably a good strategy.
So you think they should put more emphasis on the
Celebrities.
streetwear and leisure clothing lines?
Celebrities, like non-athletics.
So yeah, you could have like actresses and different people like that wear
Or
their.
don't the Kardashians always wear like Yeezys?
Oh, yeah,
Now
giving their
everyone-
date because
And
she's
now
married.
everyone, yeah, like it's just like.
Yeah, but I can't see like that's the way the style's going, like the way that Adidas is going. Under Armour making anything that looks anything like.
Yeah.
Imagine ASAP Rocky just decked out in Under Armour. Like, it just does not flowing up here.
That's why they need to make it happen. It's
Yeah,
hard to
they
do
need a
that.
logo change.
Yeah.
I mean, Adidas has 2 logos, and they've done well having both.
They have like that clover one.
Yeah, they got the trefoil and then the 3 bars. So like they did it. So if Under Armour can make something more hip, then
I think the 3 bars sucks. It looks like a Slayer company.
and that's more of their sport attack, and then the trefoil is the style attack. If Under Armour could do that, then they could easily.
What's the trefoil?
It's
Trefoil is like the clover looking thing. You'd recognize it if you saw
Like
it.
originals.
Yeah, that.
Oh yeah.
So like they attacked, like I mean,
Yeah, that's cool.
they really attacked that market, and that became the leisure wear. And then they have the logo Adidas, the 3 stripes is still worn by all the soccer players and anything Adidas athletic brand. Under Armour needs to do something like that.
All right.
Cool.
I think we're good. Thank you guys all so much for coming.
Seriously, yeah.
I really appreciate it.